The U.S.-Canada border is a big feature of life in the North Country. People cross back and forth to visit family, hit up favorite restaurants, or catch a concert. But it's not just people that travel between the two countries. Wild animals also move around throughout their lives as they grow, mate, feed, and establish their habitats. One major wildlife corridor that straddles the border encompasses the Adirondacks in New York and Algonquin Park in Ontario. The animals who use it face all kinds of natural obstacles, like rivers and islands, and human-made ones, like cities and roads. Environmental advocates want to put infrastructure in place to help more wildlife safely navigate these barriers. We learn more about that movement on today's Story of the Day.
Support for Story of the Day comes from Pearsall Wealth Management at UBS Wealth Management USA, subsidiary UBS AG, member FINRA SIPC, 1 Broad Street, Glens Falls.
Hi, I'm Kara Chapman. It's Thursday, October 23rd. Up first, Governor Kathy Hochul has signed off on a power agreement between Alcoa, the aluminum plant in Messina, and the New York Power Authority. NYPA will continue to supply low-cost hydroelectric power to Alcoa's Messina West plant. The agreement preserves 500 jobs at the plant for at least a decade, with options of 2 more 5-year extensions. State and local leaders told the Watertown Daily Times that the new contract ensures continued growth, job creation, and investment at Alcoa. With colder weather on the way, more people are heating their homes, but some NYSEG customers are worried that already steep utility bills could climb even higher. The public comment period for NYSEG's rate increase case closes tomorrow. Kimberly Izar with the New York Public News Network has more.
Electric and gas utility company NYSEG filed a rate increase proposal in June to increase delivery rates by more than 30% for some customers. Now, residents have until October 24th to submit public comment and make their voices heard. NYSEG has said the increased rates are necessary to address aging infrastructure and the state's growing energy demands. But New York's 100th District Assemblymember Paula Elaine Kay said increased costs can't fall solely on ratepayers.
There's clearly a need, but the question is, how are our residents who already are struggling to pay their existing bills going to be able to pay 30% more? And the answer cannot be that all of this new infrastructure should be paid by the current residents. There must be a different way to allocate that funding.
The rate case comes as multiple lawmakers demand investigations into NYSEG's billing practices. If approved, NYSEG customers could see new rates take effect on May 1st, 2026. People can submit public comments on the state's Department of Public Service website at dps.ny.gov. In Liberty, I'm Kimberly Izar for the New York Public News Network.
Animals of all kinds travel between the forests of the Adirondack Mountains and Algonquin Park in Ontario, northwest of Ottawa. But for decades now, the roads and human life between these two wild habitats have been huge barriers for animals to move safely. Catherine Wheeler reports on a movement to build better pathways for them.
It's a clear day in the skies above southern Ontario. Jessica Lax peeks out of the window of a cherry-red turboprop plane. Below is a patchwork of greens and blues, the farms, forests, highways, and shoreline between Kingston and Brockville.
I can see how sharp the lines are between the forest cover and the development, and seeing it from a broader perspective, you can see how stark it is.
Lax is the executive director of the A2A Collaborative. It's a binational group focused on protecting and improving a major wildlife corridor that spans across southern Ontario and northern New York. She's taking photos and videos of an 85-kilometer, or 52-mile, stretch of Ontario's Highway 401. In a section between Mallorytown and Gananoque, the lanes of traffic split and a forested median fills the gap.
It's another area where we have recommended a wildlife overpass. So I'm trying to get an image of how the forest cover connects.
Lax says A2A has pinpointed 2 more locations along the 401 between Gananoque and Brockville, where they think over and underpasses could help more animals survive crossing the busy highway. That's because this area is a critical wildlife pathway in northeastern North America. On a map, the corridor looks like a tilted hourglass, encompassing Algonquin Park in Ontario at one end and the Adirondacks in New York at the other. In the middle is a skinny pinch point, basically the length of the Thousand Islands. This zone is called the Frontenac Arch. Kate Cleary is the president of the A2A board in the U.S. She's also a biologist and professor at SUNY Potsdam.
From an ecological perspective, it's really one of the ways that wildlife can still move north as climate change pushes them that direction, but also that animals can move south as well if their ecology pushes them to do that.
Animals face a lot of obstacles to get through it. They have to cross a river, islands, cities, farms, and countless roads.
The main barrier to animal movement, even more than different land uses, is roads. That's what we're kind of currently focused on as an organization, is trying to improve animals' abilities to cross the road.
Cleary says the locations A2A is proposing for wildlife over and underpasses were selected based on roadkill data gathered along the 401. According to the organization, more than 20,000 animals are killed on roads within the region annually. An effort like this takes time, money, and most importantly, the political will to do it. Jessica Lax with A2A says right now just might be the right time. The Ministry of Transportation in Ontario is planning to expand the 401 from its current 4 lanes to 6 and then eventually 8.
That means that this is the moment where we can actually consider putting in many different mitigations, not just overpasses, also includes underpasses, changing the size of culverts, putting in fencing, that together would allow us to create this connectivity that we've been looking for.
Lax and the A2A know this is a massive undertaking. It would take years to build these structures, plus the cost, likely millions of dollars. But she says the investment is worth it.
What we decide now will affect future generations and will undoubtedly really affect those populations of species and whether they're able to sustain themselves.
It's not just about animal safety either. Wildlife mitigation like A2A is proposing could help prevent more animal vehicle collisions. 570 people across Canada were killed in accidents with wildlife between 2000 and 2020. 17% of them happened in Ontario, according to the Traffic Injury Research Foundation. Stopping collisions could in turn save Canadians millions in medical bills, insurance claims, and car damage. This area may get busier, too. A2A board member Alex French says climate change and its effects are forcing animals to adapt.
This would be a major avenue for them to move north, but also to connect with other subpopulations and have more genetic diversity and, therefore be a little more resilient.
French says he hopes improving the ways animals can migrate through the corridor could also help bring back predators like wolves and mountain lions to New York. He says that shouldn't scare you. They help from the top down, like controlling deer populations and repairing riparian habitats.
If we can rewild the Adirondacks, that's what it really means to me, is that you're bringing back those keystone species.
Lax says Ontario's Ministry of Transportation has agreed to assess the feasibility of wildlife overpasses on the 401. That's a big step. But she says there's still more work to do. On October 23rd, the MTO will hold a public meeting in Lansdowne about plans for 401 construction between Gananoque and Mallorytown. Canadians can also submit written comments about the plan to the MTO in the 30 days after. There will be another public meeting this spring with more details as plans take shape. Lax says public awareness and support will be key to getting this idea added to the plan, and she hopes the MTO will take note. Catherine Wheeler, North Country Public Radio in Kingston.
We have more news all the time on our website, ncpr.org. Music today by Alan Dunham of South Glens Falls and Mark Corey of Watertown. Before we go, thank you to everyone who donated to our annual fall fundraiser. In just 10 days, we raised more than $500,000. Your support makes a positive difference and keeps NCPR healthy at this critical time. If you missed the fundraiser, you can make us even stronger now with your donation at ncpr.org/give. Thank you for your support. I'm Kara Chapman, North Country Public Radio.